Good morning. I hope you guys had a great weekend. So I am back for math. I'm going to have you get two things for math. I told you to hopefully have two things. So one of them is we're going to review time. And then the second one I wanted you to get, it looks like this, and it says Rocket Math Addition Set A. So this is something I'm going to have you start doing with your parents just to help us with our facts and making sure that we're kind of getting those facts memorized as much as we can. So we're going to talk about both of these today. So we're going to start in this one. So we're going to start in our time. So we usually do time every day. And so we have not been doing that, obviously, because we don't have our math opening time. But we're going to do some review on time. So the first thing I want you to do, even though it doesn't ask, is I want you to put your name up on top. So I'm just going to write Mrs. Bagley on mine. Okay, so it has my time on there. And move this and see if that helps with the light. Okay, so the first page that we're going to talk about is to the half hour. Okay, so remember when our minute hand, which is the long hand, is down to the 6, okay, that means 30. And then remember, if it's at 30, that means our hour hand is in between the 2 hours. And remember, if it's still in this house, it's still in the 5 house. It's not to the 6 yet. Okay, so it's still in that 5 house. Now, something that's really helpful, that will hopefully be helpful for you guys, is on the very back page of this packet. This might be something that you guys want to do, is if you have a brad at home, which is a little brad fastener, hopefully your parents have that, you can cut out the minute hand and the hour hand, and then you can put them in here, and you can actually move them on the clock to help you with the time. Okay, so you're going to cut it out and then put them in there. And that can help you with telling time, and it could be a fun way that you can do that during the days when we're not really doing time. Okay, so if we look here, I'm going to do a couple pages with you, and then I'm going to have you do a couple pages on your own. All right, so if you look at this first one, it says, what time is it? So my hour hand is in between the 5 and the 6, so that means it's still in the 5 house. And then remember, the between each number is 5. So we count by 5s to find out how many minutes. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So my time, I'm just going to trace, would be 5:30. Remember, our hour goes before the colon, our minutes go after. Okay, so let's look at the second clock. So my hour hand is in between the 4 and the 5. So it's still in the 4 house. So I'm going to put 4. And then if my minute hand is down to the 6, I know that's 30. So it would be 4:30. All right, so this is another way that we learned how to tell time to the half hour. It said half past, because remember, it's halfway around the clock. So it's half past what hour? It's between the 2 and the 3, so it's still in the 2 house, so it would be half past 2. Okay, let's look at the next row. So this one, my hour hand is in between the 1 and the 2, so it's 1, because it's still in the 1 house. And then if it's down to the 6, remember, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it would be 1:30. Okay, if I look here, my hour hand is between the 3 and the 4. So it's still in the 3 house. So I know it's 3 and then 30. Here's another one of our half past. So if it's half past, where is my hour hand? Is my hour hand between the 5 and the 6? So it's still in the 5 house. So that means it's half past 5 because it hasn't gotten to 6 yet. Okay, let's do the next one. So this one says it's in between the 2 and the 3. So that means it's still in the 2 house. So it would be 2. And then if my minute hand is down to the 6, I know that means 30. So 2:30. Okay, here. Again, my hour hand is in between the 3 and the 4. So that means it's still in the 3 house because it hasn't gotten to 4 yet. So it would be 3:30. Okay, here's another one of our half past. So my hour hand is halfway around the clock, or my minute hand, sorry. So it's half past what? Where's my hour hand? Between the 1 and the 2. So it would be half past 1. Okay, down here, I have to figure out what's 1 hour before my time. So this is where that clock might be helpful. Okay, so if I have 3:30, what would be an hour before then? An hour before then would be 2:30. Okay, what would be an hour before 4:30? Well, an hour before would be 3:30. Okay, over here, what would be an hour before 6:30? So if I had to go back 1 hour, it would be 5:30. And don't forget to put your colons in there. Then what would be an hour before 2:30? An hour before 2:30 would be 1:30. So I would put 1:30. Okay, so you should have done that page with me. All right, go ahead and turn the page. So on this one gets a little bit harder, and we have some other times in there to the 15 and to the 45, but we were working on that at school. Okay, so these were our quarter hour times that we talked about. So here we just have to look at the clock and circle the time that's shown. So if I have this, my hour hand's pointing to the 12, my minute hand is to the 3, so I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. So I know that this clock says 12:15. So I'm just going to circle 12:15. Okay, let's go across to this one. So my hour hand's pointing to the 2. My minute hand is pointing to the 3. So again, it's 2 and then 5, 10, 15. So it would be 2:15. All right, look at this one. So this one, my hour hand's pointing to the 3, and I don't like this one. It should really be pointing more down towards my 4. But if I count all the way around, my minute hand is to the 9. So I have to count by 5s. So I'd go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So this would be telling me, I'm sorry if I looked at that right. I'm sorry. This is almost to the 3 but it's still in the 2 house. I'm sorry. That one shows 2:45. Okay, let's look at this one. So this one is pointing to the 7 and then 5, 10, 15. So that shows 7:15. Okay, let's look here. So this one, it's still in the 5 house. It's almost to the 6, but it's not there yet. So that shows 5, and then I have to count all the way around to 9, which would get me to 45. So that means our time would say 5:45. Okay, here, this is almost to the 12, but it's still in my 11 house. And then I have it coming around, so this time would show 11:45. Okay, let's look down here. So this one, it's 10, and then it's to the 3. So that's going to show me 10:15. Okay, let's look here at this one. So this one, my hour hand is pointing to the 6. My minute hand is to the 3. So it's going to be 6, and then remember 5, 10, 15. So it's going to be 6:15. So I'm going to circle 6:15. Okay, down here. So this one, it's almost to the 5. It's not there yet. So it's still in the 4 house. And then remember, 4 is all the way over to the 9. We're going to count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So that means it's 4:45. Okay, and then our last one. So this one's pointing to the 9, and then we have to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. So it's going to show me 9:15. So I'm going to circle that 9:15. Okay, so that's telling our time to the quarter hour. All right, go ahead and flip it over. So on this one is our O clock, and I think you guys can do this, and then we have the ones over here that are to the 30. So you're going to complete this page on your own. So you just need to circle the time over here for what time is shown on the clock. So this one says 9 o'clock, so I'm going to just circle 9 o'clock. This one over here, my hour hand is in between the 1 and the 2, so I'm still in the 1 house. My minute hand's down to the 6, so that's going to show me 1:30. Okay, you're going to continue with this page and do this page on your own. All right, then we're going to turn the page and flip it over. So this one is pretty similar, but except for this time now you have to put the hands on the clock. So it tells you what time it is, and then you have to put the hands. So the first ones they've done for you. So this one says 2 o'clock. So my hour hand's pointing to the 2, my minutes hand's up to the 12. 5 o'clock. So I'm going to go to the 5 and then to the o'clock. 8 o'clock. I'm going to put my hour hand to the 8. My minute hand's going to go all the way up to the 12, so I can show 8 o'clock. Sorry, the sun got on that one. Okay, now down here, remember, don't be fooled by this. We learned this too. If it says 10 o'clock, well, o'clock still means up to the 12. So my hour hand's going to go to the 10. My minute hand is going to go up to the 12 to show o'clock. So you're going to finish this page for me as well. Okay, so you're going to finish that page for me as well. All right, then the last page that you're going to do, no, I'm sorry, that'll be the last page for today. So you're just going to do those 2 pages for me to finish up. And on those 2 pages, it's kind of odd, but it says page 17. And then the next page is page 5. So obviously these are not going in order. But you're going to turn those 2 pages in that you did by yourself today. Okay? The second thing that we're going to start is we're going to start what's called Rocket Math. And it's not anything that's major, but I just want us to remember our facts. We've got to get quicker in remembering, trying to memorize our facts, so we're not always using. So here it says, orbit clockwise around the page with your co-pilot for about 2 to 3 minutes. Where your co-pilot is going to be one of your parents. Okay? Then it says, say all the problems and answers in order. So if I was the person that was giving it, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to start here, where it says start, and you're going to just simply say these problems that go around the page. And you're just going to practice them. Okay? So if I say 1 plus 3, whoever I was with, the student, would say 4. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 1 plus 2, 3. 2 plus 1, 3. Okay? And you're going to just go around and practice those facts. And it's just where you're just telling them the answer for whatever they gave you. Okay? Once you've practiced those, you're going to go into this part in the box, and I'm going to have your parents set a timer for 1 minute. And I just want you to do as many as you can in 1 minute. Okay? This is just you trying to get a little bit quicker with your facts. Okay? So now you will have this paper. Your parents are going to set a timer, and you're going to simply just fill in the answers. So 2 plus 1, you would write 3. 1 plus 3, 4. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. And you're going to go through and just see how far you can get in 1 minute. Okay, I know it says it's a test, but I'm not really testing you. I just want to see that you are working on getting those facts memorized a little bit in your head. And this is just a funner, easier way to practice that. Okay, so you're going to do this just 1 page. I only want you to do it 1 time. So you're going to just orbit around with just saying the answers. And then when you go to actually the 1 minute part where your parents are timing, you're writing in the answers. And I would just like to see this, but I'm not grading it, I'm not testing it. I just want to kind of see how you're doing on that. Okay, so just for 1 minute, parents, just set a timer, let them do for 1 minute and see how many they can get done. Okay, alrighty. So I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to do your 20 minutes of Redbird. I am seeing that some people are doing it and some people are not. So make sure that you're going into there. I am checking those on a weekly basis to see how long you've been spending in there. Some of you guys have moved really far and you're doing awesome. And then some of you guys aren't even going into it. So make sure that you're going in for that 20 minutes of Redbird for me. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a good day and we'll talk to you later.